Finnish moorland forests produce tall and straight pine trees that can be turned into top-quality timber. Used in airy and dry structures, wood has a long service life. For hundreds of years, the trees were girdled or the wood charred to protect them against dampness and pests. But what actually happens to wood when it is exposed to water, insects, fungi and other forces of nature? The destruction of the Second World War and the ensuing efforts of swiftly making war reparations to the Soviet Union whipped the Finnish economy back into shape at the end of the 1940s. The timber trade in particular benefited from the reconstruction and export trade. Soon after the wars, Iveri Mononen from Ilomantsi in eastern Finland founded a timber company that specialized in circular sawing. The first pole delivery of 800 pieces took place in 1952 to England. The excellent quality of the poles and the reliability of deliveries soon attracted other European clients. The Iveri Mononen Osakeyhtiö is a family business that over the years has employed several of the founders' children and grandchildren. Extending the raw material acquisition to the whole of eastern Finland allowed the company to become entirely independent of external sources of timber. From the late 1970s onwards, the Joensuu deep-water harbour became increasingly important as a significant handling and shipping port for wooden poles. Today, the sea harbours of the southern and western Finnish coast are also important. 1991 marked a significant change in our operating principles when the Mononen brothers acquired a share of Enso Gutzeit's Höljakka impregnation plant in Nurmes. A few years later, the plant, originally founded in 1958, came under the sole ownership of the Mononen family, and Höljakka became a subsidiary of the Iveri Mononen company. With this acquisition, the sale of impregnated wood poles exceeded the sale of raw timber. The next acquisition that was directly linked with pole manufacture and sales operations took place in 2004, when Iveri Mononen purchased Finnforest's pole production facility. The acquisition doubled the company's production capacity. Currently, Iveri Mononen can produce a total of 100,000 cubic meters of poles a year, equal to about 400,000 poles, depending on size. The company's main markets include Finland, Scandinavia, Eastern and Western Europe, Northern Africa and the Middle East. Iveri Mononen extended its operations to impregnated timber production in 2007, when it acquired its current subsidiary, Prima Timber. Prima Timber is responsible for the production of impregnated timber and related product development in the group. Wood is a renewable raw material that is fully biodegradable. Its biological decay is the result of interaction between bacteria, fungi and insects. Pests, water and changes in weather conditions can cause unprotected wood to return to its natural state in a few years. An effective and efficient production chain from wood procurement to customer delivery is the key to successful wood protection. Iveri Mononen's main procurement area includes eastern and central Finland. The strength, straightness, scarcity of knot holes, excellent workability and location of growth all meet the demanding criteria for top-quality pole materials. Harvesting plans are always made in cooperation with the landowner, and every effort is made to meet their wishes. Iveri Mononen follows the forest certification criteria in wood procurement, including the chain of custody management system. Most of the harvesting for pole manufacture is carried out in winter, which helps to ensure minimum damage to the environment. These measures help keep the company's forest management in line with the principles of sustainable development. A procurement manager selects and marks each pole individually. Specially designed machinery, is used to handle and move the poles at the production facility. At the impregnation plant, the poles are barked and sorted according to their intended use. The poles are dried either outdoors in open stacks or in kiln dryers that are heated by burning bark and wood chips in a biomass power plant. After drying, 1 year's growth is removed from the poles with a lathe. This makes the surface even and ensures a better result from the impregnation process. Before impregnation, the poles are marked and the holes and notches required for their proper installation are added. The quality, moisture content and measurements are also checked at this stage. To ensure long service life, poles are treated with an oil-based or salt-based preservative. Oil impregnation is suitable for a great variety of conditions, from Arctic latitudes to tropical heat, and from rainy coastal areas to the dryness of deserts. Decades of experience show that salt-impregnated poles are also excellently suited to the most demanding conditions. The oldest oil-based preservative still in use is creosote oil, which is made by distilling coal tar. Creosote oil has been used to preserve wood for over 150 years. Studies show that creosote-impregnated poles have the longest service life of all Iivari Mononen products. The poles are preheated to around 70 degrees centigrade before the oil preservative is applied. For this purpose, hot air is blown through the pole stacks in the preheating facility. During the preheating process, any rainwater, snow and ice will evaporate, leaving the poles dry and ready for impregnation. At the same time, the temperature of the wood is increased before the impregnation process is started. This speeds up the process, especially in cold weather. Oil impregnation follows the traditional drooping process, whereby the wood is subjected to an initial pressure of 4 bars. Next, the oil that has been heated up to over 100 degrees centigrade is forced into the wood under a pressure of up to 14 bars. This ensures that the preservative penetrates fully through the sapwood. Finally, the poles are vacuum treated to remove any excess oil. The poles are then treated with hot steam and vacuum, which prevents any subsequent seepage of the preservative. In salt-based timber impregnation, copper is used to protect the wood. Salt impregnation is done through the traditional Bethel method, which involves first creating a vacuum to remove as much air as possible from the wood cells. Next, the salt-based preservative is pumped into a cylinder and forced into the wood at a pressure of up to 14 bars. This ensures that the preservative penetrates fully through the sapwood. Finally, the poles are vacuum treated to remove any excess preservative. Depending on the type of preservative used, the fixation into the wood can be speeded up during post-treatment with hot steam. In Finland, it's becoming increasingly common for street lighting poles to be made of wood, a durable, safe and cost-effective material. For the poles to have a long service life, it's essential that they have been 100% impregnated. That is, that the preservative has completely penetrated the sapwood. The entire production process, including harvesting, storing and transportation, has been certified with the group's quality and environmental management system. The company's skilled and competent employees play a significant role in ensuring the high quality of the end products. Iivari Mononen takes environmental matters into account both in its operations and throughout the life cycle of its products, from manufacture to commencement and recycling. Wooden poles have several advantages over competing materials. In addition to being light and strong, wooden poles require little storage space and do not suffer from handling. This lowers their transportation and storing costs, therefore improving the efficiency of customer logistics. The use of wooden poles in line construction has several benefits for the constructor and the owner of the network. Wooden poles are easy to transport to the roughest of terrains, and machining can be done on-site using normal hand tools. Upon request by the client,